people as
build
soon as,
anticipation. I mean, a lot of stuff gets funding, and they have to come up with the ideas. They have to find zoning. They have to find places for it. They have so many other things to focus on besides the parks. But a lot of the announcements were the parks at this specific D23, and we don't have anything to compare it to because we haven't been to the others in person, but we've seen online. This was a lot of park announcements.
Yeah, and one of them, they said that they were going to be building a parking structure on the east side, but then just recently it was canceled. And their reasoning was that they wanted to basically provide more resources to Galaxy's Edge as well as...
that new hotel.
Yeah, the new hotel they're putting in.
Yeah, they're going to put a parking structure. It was called, like, what, East Bay Harbor or something? It was like, it had, like,
something,
a name
yeah.
and everything. And they were, like, going forward with this parking structure, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
Because when I go to Disneyland, if I do have a rental car, I try not to park in Toy Story. Because guess what? It's not covered.
Yeah.
And do you know how hot it is there? All your stuff bakes. So if I was, like, doing any kind of makeup or lotion or anything on the way to the park, leave it in the car, guess what? Come back, exploded.
Yeah.
So they're going to do another parking structure covered, kind of like Mickey and Friends parking, which I love. I always try and park there, closer to the park. Don't have to take the bus, you just take the tram. And it's covered, and that's what this was going to be. But then, for whatever reason, they put an article online, canceled.
Yeah, they canceled it. I think, though, as well, in addition to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as well as the hotel resources, I think they kind of had this in mind as well for the superhero stuff that's coming.
Yeah.
And they knew that it was going to be big, and they needed to save that money or provide resources or whatever to also input to this project.
So what exactly did they tell us at the D23 about the superhero stuff? Because it was kind of vague.
Right. So what we know, and D23, they barely gave us anything. All they said that it was coming, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Everyone's like, where? You have no space.
Yeah, and recently they've come out and said it's not opening until 2020. And then I guess and then they said that Spider-Man and the Avengers will basically be joining the land. It's going to be around them, I guess. They'll be the center of it all. And it's supposed to be some sort of completely immersive superhero universe that I guess people will go to Disney's California Adventure and do.
Which is what I'm hearing Star Wars will be. So one of my friends that, not that they're an insider, but that is heavily involved in the Twitter sphere, I don't know, online, they were saying that Star Wars, not only will it probably have a separate entrance fee to go and do that, it'll be more of an experience than a park.
Yeah.
Which I don't really get. Maybe somebody meets you at the beginning. What's their name? Han Solo?
Yeah.
A Stormtrooper 3PO? I don't know. They'll grab you at the first. They'll take you around. Maybe they'll be your tour guide. I don't really know. What does immersive experience mean?
Right. Well, I mean, what Richie said when he was here...
Who's Richie?
Richie T. Stedman. When he was here for our show talking about his girlfriend's first time when they were on, he was saying when they invited him up to be a captain on the riverboat...
Mark Twain.
Yeah, Mark Twain. That the guy was telling him... Basically, it's not going to be one of those areas like you see in Frontierland or Tomorrowland where you're just like, oh, there's churros over there. Let's go get a churro in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. No, it's going to be almost
all
like
themed.
its own separate thing that I guess gives people an opportunity to go and immerse themselves in Star Wars and be a part of the story, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so the superhero will be similar to that. Which, by the way, side jaunt, if the lines for Pandora were as long as they were, what is it going to be like for Star Wars?
Oh, my gosh. I know.
Like, literally opening weekend, 4 hours.
Yeah.
But
for the
was
Pandora
Pandora its own separate park? It was just its own land in
Right.
Animal Kingdom.
Right.
So I
but
think that's
still.
part of the thing with the Star Wars is you have to probably maybe even sign up beforehand, and it's like a reservation at a
I
restaurant.
hope.
Maybe not. Maybe there won't be a
Regulate.
big line issue.
I think
I
you'll
hope
have
so.
to. And, I mean, can you imagine what people are going to do?
Yeah.
Like in preparation for this thing?
Well, so I don't think the Avengers will be as big of a deal.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, first of all, they don't have the space, period.
Right. But they did just announce the closure of the Bugs Land area.
Right. Well, they did say that they were ripping out Bugs Land, and that's where they were going to put it. And by the way, Bugs Land is going to be closing at the end of the summer, but It's Tough to Be a Bug, that 3D movie,
Already
is
gone.
actually gone.
Which I think is terrible.
Yeah.
If spiders are running under my butt and snakes are touching my calves,
But some people
why
love
would
it.
I go in there?
I don't know. I mean,
It's air conditioned, it's underground.
Yeah,
Great. I don't care. I'm not going on it.
right.
The one at Disney, the one in Florida is cool because it's inside the Tree of Life. But other than that,
It was definitely one
don't
of those...
sign me up for bugs under my butt.
It was definitely one of those that's like, well, as soon as we get all the good rides out of the way, then we'll go to It's Tough to Be a Bug,
Yeah.
if we have time.
Well, here's the thing, too. When Maleficent was new, they completely ripped out, or coming out the movie, they completely just didn't even do the Bugs Land thing, and they just had you go in. They didn't do the Bugs Land show, whatever it's called. What the hell's it called? They didn't even do
It's
it Stuff to Be a Bug, and they did the Maleficent, like, extended preview, which I loved. Loved it. Way better than the Bugs Under the Butt.
Bugs under the butt. You like how she says that? I mean, okay.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Anyway, so I don't know. I just feel like there was never a line for that. People kind of went in there like they've never done it, or maybe they wanted some air conditioning, but people weren't like, yes, let's wait for 45 minutes for this thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, and
I'm
I think that's enough of Bug's Life. Period. I think having
it didn't do super
that
well
as
a
well
movie.
as its own land. I don't know. The land was cute, but really, what are we going to be missing?
Well, we don't have kids, so we don't care. But what
Yeah.
are kids going to get at California Adventure? Nothing except for Ariel's ride.
That we know of. I mean, we don't know what they've got in the
Carousel.
works, but
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, everything there's so big, so it was the one area for kids. So I think that's going to be the one takeaway here of like, okay, what is California Adventure going to be missing out on? Well, they were trying to appeal to people of all ages. Now they've really limited what they have for little kids.
Well, it was also I went on to a few different websites, and one that had basically the most. It's speculated information, but you know that it's good information, if that makes any sense. Is the Disney travel blog,
Yeah.
and they were saying, the Disney tourist blog,
Okay.
and they were saying that the reason why they're opening it in 2020 and why it's going to be in California Adventure is kind of to relieve some of that Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be excitement in both parks, and so not everybody's just going to flood to the one side and then leave
They gotta
California
keep
Adventure.
revenue over there.
Right.
Okay.
So that's half the reason. But they're going to be doing it in phases. So it's not going to be like this, quick turnaround like we saw with Pixar Pier or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're actually going to take their time with it. And so the first phase will be opened right around, well, I guess a little bit later than Star Wars, just so people can come over there and relieve the other park, of all the guests.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the rumors that they're using, or that they're saying, is that it's going to have that Tron-like ride. So I guess the ride itself, the coaster, is called the Vekoma.
Is that the one that's in the overseas park?
Yeah, it's the one that, I think it's in Hong Kong. Or no,
They
Shanghai.
don't have space for that?
In Shanghai. Well, right. And that was what I was confused about, is I was like, well, what are they going to do? How are they going to... I mean, Bugs Land is not going to even facilitate
It's
just
small.
that one ride.
Yeah.
And...
Like a queue alone is going to take up half of that space.
Right. And so I saw on other sites and stuff that they were saying that they might actually take out I think it's employee parking that's right behind it, but that's basically where the floats and stuff come out right in between Hollywood Tower, I guess it's now Guardian Galaxies, whatever.
Okay, try that again.
Guardians of the Galaxy's Mission Breakout. Better. Anyway, it's between there and Bugs Land where like the floats come out. I think they're going to expand into that area to
Okay.
give them a little bit more space, but still, you're really not working with a whole lot. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of curious.
I'm confused. I don't get how this is going to work.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
But from the sources, they were saying that when Disney bought the Vekoma roller coaster, which is the Tron coaster,
Yeah.
they bought two of them. And they obviously came out with the Tron one,
Yeah.
but there was no information as to what they were going to do with the second. And so they're thinking that it's supposed to be in this new superhero land. And originally, they heard that it was going to be a Captain America theme. But that's since changed because, and they go back to the speculation coming out with Infinity War, that Captain America may be no longer, if that makes any sense. Wink.
He's getting killed off.
That's the rumor. So,
He does kind of suck.
but when they were doing the advertisements for the park, he was like one of the only superheroes that wasn't really mentioned a whole lot. I mean, there was Spider-Man, there was...
Yeah, because what kid's like Captain America?
I mean, he's great. He's the Cap.
He's fine, but he has what? He has a shield. And he stands there in spandex.
No, he's... I actually do love what Iron Man says.
Is he vigilante?
Says to him. He's like, everything special about you came in a bottle. And I was like, oh, slam.
Well,
It's
his
true.
movies aren't that great. Well, what I'm gonna miss is like, and I don't think a lot of people. For me, like if I've been to the park over like 5-10 times, which I have,
Uh-huh.
I start after a few times, so I don't like ever get bored of any area of the park, I'll start trying to be like, okay, now that I'm walking in this park, let me try and notice one thing I haven't noticed before. Let me notice something on this ride in this interior of this home that you're riding your cart through, something I've never seen before. So I've done that with Bugs Land, where you're like walking through it to get over to the Tower of Terror area, and it's like, all right, it's kind of a cut through, but I'm like, I'm going to try and notice something I've never noticed before and try to appreciate something, because Disney is in the details. And when you walk into it, you're actually walking into a cereal box. I don't think people knew that. Like, so that big thing that you walk underneath, so there's like the yellow seats for like the grandmas to sit down, or like me
The
in my
archway
case.
thing?
When my Crocs are giving me blisters, I sit on those little yellow seats. And then you walk through a cereal box. And if you look up, there's like the little designs of like, okay, you're getting shrunk down to the size of a bug.
Is that Bugs Land could be intertwined with a superhero. Can you guess which one?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. You're exactly right.
Oh.
So
I was going to say Ryan Gosling. What's his name?
Ryan Gosling.
Who's the one that plays Ant-Man?
Oh,
A tall drink of water. I can't remember his name.
no.
No.
Now that you
That's
just asked
not
me, so
his name.
just as you just asked me, I totally can't
It doesn't
remember his
matter.
name.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. There we go.
Okay.
But they could totally preserve even just a little bit of that for like an Ant-Man themed something or other.
Yeah.
Maybe save one of the rides or maybe a couple of the rides, because they've got like 6. I've never really counted how many, but they've got quite a few little kid rides over there. But they could totally preserve 1 or 2 of those at least for the little kids and just turn it into like an Ant-Man themed something or other.
The only rides I can see working in this small area are those rides that make me sick at Universal Studios. Like The Simpsons, where you just like get in this little thing, or like they even have a Spider-Man one. You get in this thing, you put on the glasses, and it just like goes in a circle,
Yeah.
and then by the time you get out, you're like, I will never do that
It
again.
used to be the Back to the Future ride
Mhm.
at Universal.
Yeah. Terrible.
But I feel like a lot of the rides, a lot of the attractions that are going to come in the next 10 years are all going to be that.
And I'm gonna be sick, and I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, well,
I'll be sitting on the sideline.
They're just they're so much cheaper. They
Yeah.
take up so much less room.
Way less.
And they're easier to just
there's
change
a lot
out
less
the
to
video.
go wrong.
Yeah, change out the video, and you don't get hurt. You can't fly out of it. I mean,
Right. Less
per se.
liability.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the
Please
above.
no, please no. I'm getting older and sicker as I get older.
But at the same time, think of all the rides that California Adventure used to have, like when it first opened.
The Maliboomer.
Yeah, that didn't take a lot of space.
I hated that thing.
So what if they saved the Maliboomer? Because it's not like they're just gonna throw it away, right?
Okay, but there was no line for that thing, and guess what was
Oh,
the
I know.
disgusting part? The vomit guard right in front of
Yeah.
your face, literally 6 inches. I'm like, someone did barf on this? It is 6 inches from my nose.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I will
but
not be writing that.
it would still work into like the theme.
Yeah.
Because it's a blast
Blast,
off kind
yeah.
of thing. You could totally have like that be like an Iron Man theme or even a Thor's like hammer
Oh,
theme
yeah.
or whatever. But it totally fits into the mold of what they're trying to do.
I took it out for a reason
and it
because it
doesn't-
sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I hate it. I don't even like the one here.
Why
in
the
Lagoon.
vomit guard though? Like, if I'm in a vomit, it's
I
not because I'm
think
getting
Y
dropped
is
down.
right in the name.
Yeah,
Maliboomer.
No.
like sneeze guard, vomit, guard.
I
all of the
know,
above.
but why on that ride? Like, that's not dropping to the earth gives you motion sickness. No,
It
they
does
need
for
it.
some people.
They need it on the teacups. They need it on Soarin'. Those are the rides that make me sick. Not dropping to the ground.
For you.
Well, yeah.
But clearly they've had a problem in the
Spin.
past or else they wouldn't have it.
All right.
Right?
Does the Rocket have it at Laguna in Utah?
But I don't like the Rocket either.
It's the same ride.
I know, but I don't like either of them.
All right.
But I'm just saying, for conserving space, that's
Yeah.
an option. Or another ride that they used to have, which they have 2 of now for some reason, are the swing rides. Remember the old
The orange.
the orange peel ride?
Mm-hmm.
So they have that.
Mickey's
But-
Silly Symphony is what it's called now.
Yeah. Oh, is it the same exact thing? They just took the orange peel off?
Mm-hmm. Well, basically,
Oh.
they rebranded it to Disney, but it's like the same exact.
Now, all this stuff is on the
Idea.
opposite end of the pier from where Bugs World,
Yes.
Bugs Land is.
Uh-huh.
That is,
So,
yeah.
and that's kind of where Toy Story stuff is going to go, right?
Yeah, which is weird because they already are going to put in, from what I've seen from the mock-ups, they're putting in an inside-out ride that's another swing.
I feel like the hard line though is where Maliboomer used to be, because as you get up, that's not Pixar. I mean, that's Goofy Sky School, and then you get the swings, and then those stupid rocket things
Yeah,
that you and Carlos
that's more
went
like
on.
classic
So I
Disney
don't,
stuff.
I don't think Pixar's gonna go beyond where Maliboomer used to be. I think that's, I don't know.
I bet they're
think
going to
that's
get rid of
work
all
out.
those rides.
I bet they will too.
They're
'Cause
terrible.
They're clearly trying to make California Adventure into something for
Adventurous.
older people. They're trying to make it to have the exciting rides that Disneyland doesn't. So I think all those like the swings are for younger
Yeah.
kids. The Rockets are for younger kids. I think they're going to get rid of them.
Well,
Well,
they're
that-
like the Carney rides. They're doing away with the carnival theme. Like
Mhm.
they, they're changing the games into Bullseye, whatever.
Right.
It's like they're not doing the carnival theme.
Well, let's be honest. Those that like aren't 100% into Disney and are mainly just going to Disneyland because it's what you do when you go to California,
Yeah,
that want to have thrill rides, where do they go?
yeah.
Right? They go to Six Flags, they go to Universal or whatever.
Knott's Berry
But-
Farm.
Yeah, or Knott's Berry Farm, but they're not going to Disneyland,
Right.
for that thrill. So Disney's got to do something to retain or
those
persuade
thrill
those
seekers.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's another reason as to why they're doing it this way, is because for the little kids,
Yeah.
if really that's the only reason you're going, at this point there probably won't really be a reason to go to California Adventure.
Like-
You might as well just stay over in Disneyland.
Pay the $1 million to go on the one ride they can go on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I always like think of California Adventure as like the revolving door park. Like from its inception, from the very beginning to now, like think how much has changed.
Yeah.
It is like a completely different park.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
mean, I didn't go opening day, but I knew what it was like opening, and I went to like pretty close to like within the first 10 years of it being open.
Well, that's
completely
because it
different.
sucked when it opened.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
it isn't stellar.
I don't
Like,
know if
it's a
they didn't
good
think
thing.
that one through or they got better management. What's the difference? I don't know. We should do that. We should look at the management from when they first opened to the park to now and see like what's changed.
Had an opportunity, kids who are in the college program, to go and speak with the president of California Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome. Like this was just as they were about to relaunch their whole retheming
Oh, it was a woman.
and turn it.
Who was it?
I don't remember her name
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But she was talking about like originally we wanted to be like you were at an amusement park at the pier.
Yeah.
Like it was an old school like Coney
Carnival,
Island
yeah. Okay.
carnival amusement park.
Yeah.
But they realized people didn't